Welcome to the Odyssey. Yeah, you think I look stupid now? You should have seen what I had on earlier. Alright, just because I'm wearing a bra made out of tinfoil doesn't mean you can't take anything I say seriously. So, today I'm going to talk to you about the Odyssey. Now, the Odyssey is an epic poem which is 24 books long. It was written by Homer, in Greece in about 850 BC. It's making my head hot. I'm going to take it off. Now, I'm going to warn you now that this review thingy, whatever this is, will have spoilers, but that's sort of part of what Homer's all about. I mean, it doesn't matter if I tell you what's going to happen, because, one, you'll probably know all of it anyway. Two, definitely. Homer spoils himself all the time. Like, on the first page, he tells you that all of Odysseus' crew will die. And three, it's pretty bloody predictable, I'm afraid. It's not a big deal, but it's just the way that people write. The Odyssey takes place just after the Trojan War, and it's the story of Odysseus. Now, Odysseus is the hero, so he's of course brave, noble, true, wise, kind, intelligent, strong. He's a bit like Russell Crowe in Gladiator. It's the story of him trying to find his way back to Ithaca. Oh, you know, Ithaca! That island. In... It's really famous, alright? So Odysseus is trying to find his way back home. On his sea journey, Odysseus is helped by some magical godlike creatures, like Athene, and he isn't helped so much by just a few little monsters and gods, like, Calypso. No, she's a sexy nymph. Better. There's Polyphemus, the terrible Cyclops, who just ruins men's lives. Circe, yet another sexy nymph. Although she turns people into pigs, so... Magnum. There are the Sirens. Two sexy girls, lovely singing voices, shame about the pile of dead bodies they live on. Scylla, the six-headed man-eating monster. You know, it's hard to think of 6 man-eaters, so I got these guys. And then I had to sort of go with this, and eventually this. It counts. Which is a giant whirlpool. Except gianter. And Poseidon. Oh, you know him. He turns up all over the place. Whilst all this is going on, Odysseus has a wife at home, Penelope, and she's been waiting for him for 10 frickin' years. She currently has 108 suitors, just hanging around her house, eating her food, and bullying her son, Telemachus, who is Odysseus' son as well, but probably more his mother's. I mean, he hasn't had a father at all. And the whole point of the character of Penelope is that she is this ideal woman. She stays faithful to Odysseus despite these 108 younger guys hanging around her place. Whereas Odysseus spends 7 years of the 10 years that the Odyssey covers on Calypso's island as a sex slave. And that's a good reason to stay faithful. There are dozens of themes to this book, such as disguises, wealth, honour, but I'm going to look at a couple. Let's look at the definition of a hero. Now, at first glance, Odysseus is pretty idealised, perfect, cliched hero. Just look at him. But when we first come across Odysseus in the book, he's sat on a beach on Calypso's island crying his eyes out, kept there, trapped there by a woman, and he can't do anything without the help of a god. And actually without the help of a goddess, another woman. And that brings me on to the second theme I was interested in, looking at women. You see, it's often portrayed as a very anti-feminist book, but there are several powerful women. Circe, Calypso, Athene. Charybdis and Scylla are actually also women, just hideous monsters, but that's the problem, you see, because all the powerful women are hideous monsters, with the exception of Athene, who is completely under the thumb of her father. She is basically defined as her father's daughter, and she's very manly for a goddess. And the final theme I wanted to have a look at was violence. You see, I told you I'd tell you the end. Odysseus gets home, he disguises himself from Penelope, and he and Telemachus and 2 servants slaughter all the suitors. It's a hideous bloodbath. It's really gory. It goes on for pages and pages and pages describing how they chopped up each and every one of them. And they also hang 12 maids for no good reason at all. And Penelope sleeps through all of it. But somehow it comes across as a happy ending. Penelope and Odysseus are reunited, and the moral of the story is that violence is always the answer.